Hey, have any of you watched the news recently or ever and thought, I hate the government, I hate the politicians, I hate the courts?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Well, what if you lived in a world that has none of that, but instead only corporations? That's the Borderlands universe. There ain't no rest for the wicked in these games where much of the dopamine effect of consumer culture is on display in gameplay that is, and I quote, Diablo with guns. Enemies literally explode into guns after you kill them. So, sure, the games are hilarious, violent, and super fun to play. But behind the many guns and screaming psychos, there's a surprisingly sharp critique of corporate power. And considering, 1, the ever-expanding power of corporations in our own universe, and 2, the fact that Borderlands 4 is set to be released in a few weeks, let's talk about Borderlands. What are the creators trying to tell us, and can any of it help us understand the late-stage capitalism that we currently exist in?
Not one child should ever die because those bastards closed our hospital!
We'll explore it in this Philosopher view of Borderlands, a satire of corporate authoritarianism. Oh, and I have no sympathy for anyone spoiled by this video because these games have been out for a minute. Okay, before we dive in, let me break down satire real quick. So, satire is the use of humor, irony, and exaggeration to expose or criticize flaws in society. How does satire? Take an idea, probably one you don't like, and present it in a way that makes the audience laugh. By this definition, satire always requires a target, an idea that is being stretched to obvious absurdity, which can make us laugh, but also perhaps see the less obvious absurdity that exists outside the satire. The satirical target of Borderlands is clearly capitalism. Weapon brands behave like sports teams with cult followings, and somehow there's always a sale. It works because the ridiculousness feels uncomfortably plausible. We laugh at Hyperion's absurd marketing slogans, but the joke lands because somewhere in there, it doesn't feel that far from reality.
Get a new snigger with the lot, sucker!
Part 1. Corporate domination. In Borderlands, every known planet is under the influence of a corporation. Even the most remote or alien worlds have been colonized, mined, or branded by one of the big megacorps. Political theorist Sheldon Wolin coined the term inverted totalitarianism to describe a political system where corporate power effectively takes over government functions, but without the obvious trappings of a dictatorship. There's no single supreme leader. Instead, corporations quietly control the political, economic, and social life of a society. He writes, corporate power has become so predominant that it no longer needs to accommodate itself to democratic institutions. That's Pandora in a nutshell. There's no functioning democracy. Instead, planets are carved up and ruled by corporations like Hyperion, Atlas, and Dahl. They own the roads, the armies, the propaganda, and the moon. They don't need laws, they have company policy, which is basically do what we say or we'll blow up your house from orbit. And none of this is treated as a crisis. It's just the way things are. This normalization is Wolin's point. Authoritarianism can be hidden behind the language and systems of business.
And we are live! Well, not them. They're super dead!
So people don't feel like they live in a corporate police state. Shout out to a notable satire that hits this point on the nose. It's the underrated film called War Incorporated. Marketing teams run foreign invasions, pop stars are deployed for PR, and soldiers are given extremely potent caffeine alternatives.
Here somewhere.
We're all talking about the train ticket?
No, it's not in this pocket.
Hopefully, you have a nice day!
This film, as well as Mike Judge's 2006 film Idiocracy, are versions of inverted totalitarianism that came directly from the US government, with corporate officers officially holding political positions.
I'm the Secretary of State, brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because they pay me every time I do.
In the dystopia of Borderlands, the reverse is true. The official CEO or corporate leader are the unofficial dictator/warlord. Nevertheless, the results are the same. Part 2. Manufactured consent. If Wolin explains what the system looks like, Noam Chomsky explains how it sustains itself. Chomsky's concept of manufactured consent describes how those in power sell a narrative that makes the public accept or even cheer for the very system that exploits them. He writes, "You've got to divert the bewildered herd. You have to whip them up into fear of enemies. Just having them watch the Super Bowl and the sitcoms may not be enough." Handsome Jack brands himself as the hero of Pandora, keeps up a steady stream of propaganda, and convinces people the vault hunters are just dangerous lunatics. Okay, not entirely wrong about that. Then there's the vault. Hyped up as the galaxy's ultimate prize, people risk everything for it, believing it will change their lives. And it does, usually by killing them. It's sold as salvation, adventure, and destiny, all in one. Something akin to the American dream, or a tech utopia, like going to Mars.
What treasures do the vaults hide? Fame, wealth, power. Or maybe nonsense like charity or family. I don't know. Use your imagination.
But the discovery is likely to benefit the corporations far more than the individuals who chase it. The metaphor continues. Just like in real life, whoever gets there first decides how it's used. Spoiler, it's never for the public good. This is Chomsky's point. Propaganda and myth-making are essential tools for maintaining corporate control. Keep the population chasing a shiny dream so they don't notice who actually cashes in. Part 3. Loot, shoot, repeat. Let's not forget that corporate authoritarianism cannot work without rampant, unfettered capitalism. And what's the fuel of capitalism? That's it. You guessed it. Consumerism.
Consume. Consume. Consume.
The game buries you in loot. Not because your gun stopped working, but because something shinier dropped 2 seconds ago. It's a parody of our planned obsolescence upgrade culture, where perfectly good stuff gets tossed the second a newer model exists. Even survival is a purchase. NPCs pitch products while sending you on dangerous missions.
Try to stay alive. I'd hate to lose a new customer.
Borderlands shows a world so deep in consumer culture that even survival is a brand experience. You don't live on Pandora. You shop on Pandora until someone shoots you, and then someone else loots your corpse for gear. Last part, my personal bias. Look, I know that this is anti-capitalism stuff, but I need to make something clear. I am not against capitalism. I truly like capitalism. I like displaying the Nike symbol on multiple articles of clothing while talking about the new features on my iPhone while waiting in line at Taco Bell. I'm not sure how much regulation capitalism should actually have. Somewhere between the point where you have to wait to get electricity and the point where corporations invade planets. Somewhere in the middle there. I do have faith that a good balance is possible. Whether or not a government can be trusted to regulate it, I'm a little less faithful. But in any case, I'm happy to know that our world is not quite as ridiculous and violent as the Borderlands world. Yet. We still got some years, I think. How close are we to corporate domination in real life? Do you think that the creators are becoming what they're satirizing with the endless DLCs and the large price tag coming up for Borderlands 4? Also, what do you think the government's role in the economy should be? Should the government drive the economy or just ride shotgun with snacks? And maybe pitch in on gas or something? Let me know what you think in the comments. Once Borderlands 4 comes out, I'm sure we'll do a whole video on it. And I'm excited to see where they go with the story this time around. Hi everyone, I'm Ben Savage and I do this channel with The Walking Dude. I'm an outsider because I don't do much gaming. That's where WD comes in.
That's the deal.
But I do like to study philosophy and talk about it. So that's what I'm here to do. This is Philosopher Reviews with Crit Chance. Hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time. Peace. Bye.